Carlos María de Bustamante Merecilla was a Mexican statesman, historian, journalist and a supporter of Mexican independence. His historical work early initiated an important Mexican national tradition of searching out and publishing basic materials on the Indian past and its fate in the colonial period. His writings in the 1820s shifted the antiquarian bias of creole patriotism into the ideology of a national liberation movement. Biography and works. Carlos María de Bustamante was born in the city of Oaxaca on 4 November 1774. In 1796 he took up the study of law, participated in the attempts to secure Mexico's independence from Spain, and, when that was finally achieved, opposed Agustín de Iturbide's designs to transform the newborn republic into a hereditary monarchy. Repeatedly imprisoned and banished, he was nevertheless appointed to important positions in the government. The Mexican-American War of 1846–48 was a source of deep grief to him. He founded the Mexican newspaper Diario de Mexico in 1805, in which he expressed their independence liberal ideas, and because this, he went to jail many times. After the kid's constitution he founded the newspaper El Juguetio. In 1813 José María Morelos y Pavón named him as editor in the independence newspaper Correo Americano del Sur. Carlos María de Bustamante became deputy for the Provincia de Mexico in the Congress of Chilpancingo, where he wrote the inaugural speech for Morelos, which declared that the insurgents were about to free Mexicans from the chains of serfdom imposed on them in 1521. Bustamante participated in the writing of first Mexican Constitution. He spent most of the time between 1815 and 1822 in jail. In 1822, after Mexican independence was achieved, Bustamante was elected deputy of Oaxaca. His historical sketch of the Mexican-American War is a sad record of the decay and disintegration which afflicted Mexico at the time. He writes with the greatest frankness and unsparingly about the conduct of the war on the Mexican side. His autobiography Lo que se dice y lo que se hace, 1833, published in 1833, is also valuable as a fragment of contemporary history. Although constantly concerned in the politics of Mexico and occupying several very responsible positions during the most trying times of the Mexican Republic until the close of the war with the United States, Bustamante became a prominent Mexican historian. He distinguished himself by publishing historical works on colonial times, until then in manuscript and partly forgotten. Above all, his publication of Historia General de las Cosas de Nueva España, by Fray Bernardino de Sahagun of the second half of the 16th century, was a service to historical research. In addition to the work of Sahagun, Bustamante printed the Chronicle of Gomara, the work of Vaitier on Tezcuco, the dissertations of Gama on two large Mexican sculptures, and others. To the history by Sahagun he added one of the Relaciones of Fernando de Alvarez Ixtaquitle, selected by him for the passionate spirit which it displays against the Spaniards. Bustamante found the manuscript of exiled Mexican Jesuit André Cavo, Historia Civil y Política de Mexico, in Latin and Spanish. Bustamante published it with a large appendix, under the title Los Tres Siglos de Mexico bajo el gobierno español hasta la entrada del ejército trigarante. The first edition was published in Mexico City in 4 volumes in 1836 to 1838. Bustamante also published a portion of Mariano Vache's Historia Antigua de Mexico, which Vaitier based on manuscripts collected by Lorenzo Botturini de Beneducci. Bustamante also published in defective form the 18th-century writings of Hipólito Villarroel, who wrote about the Spanish treatment of Indians, the colonial power structure regarding the Indians, and the Indian problem in Mexico, in addition to the autobiography mentioned, and the light shed by his other works. The Diccionario Universal de Historia y Geografía contains an exhaustive account of the man. The historian Lucas Alaman wrote biographical material on Bustamante, putting in relief especially his private character and the virtues of his domestic life. Writings: Galería de Antiguos Príncipes Mexicanos, Puebla 1821, Crónica Mexicana, Dio Moxley o Libro que tiene todo lo interesante a usos costumbres, religion, política y literatura de los antiguos indios toltecas y mexicanos, redactado durante antiguo Códice del Caballero Boturini, Mexico, 1822. Necesidad de unión de todos los mexicanos contra las acechanzas de la nación española y Liga Europea, comparado con la historia de la antigua República de Tlaxcala, Mexico 1826. Manuales de Alameda de México, publicadas para facilitar a las señoritas el estudio de la historia de su país. 2 vols. Mexico 1835-36. Tiempos de habla y tiempos de cala. Mexico 1833. Apuntes para la historia del gobierno del general Antonio López de Santa Anna. Cuadro histórico de la Revolución de la América Mexicana. Edited sources: Historia de las Conquistas de Hernando Cortés, escrita en español por Francisco López de Gomara, traducida al mexicano por Juan Bautista de San Antón Manang y Malpavan Quatlhuintzin, Indio Mexicano. 2 vols. Mexico, 1826. Memoria sobre la guerra del Mixtán en el estado de Jalisco, 1826. Texcoco en los últimos tiempos de sus antiguos reyes o si relación tomada de los manuscritos inéditos de Boturini, redactada por el Lic. de Mariano Veitia. Publicados con notes y additions para el estudio de la juventud mexicana. 292 pp. 1826. Historia del descubrimiento de la América Septentrional por Cristóbal Colón, escrita por el P.F. Manuel de la Vega, religioso franciscano de la provincia de México. 250 pp. Mexico, 1826. Historia de la Conquista de México por el P.F. Bernardino de Sahagún, 1829. Horribles crueldades de los conquistadores de México y los indios que los auxiliaron para subjugarlo a la corona de Castilla o si memoria por D. Fernando de Ixtlil Soquitel, 1829. Historia General de las Cosas de la Nueva España, que en 2 libros y 2 volúmenes, escribieron por el P.F. Bernardino de Sahagún, de la observancia de S. Francisco, y uno de los primeros predicadores del Santo Evangelio de aquellas regions. 3 vols. Mexico 1829-30. Descripción histórica y cronológica de las dos piedras, que son ocasión del nuevo empedrado que se está formando en la plaza principal de México. Se hallaron en el año de 1790, por D. Antonio de León y Gama. Mexico 1832.